I remember vividly them walking out onto the pitch and thinking, wow, this is a shithole.
With its origins dating back to 1928, the Vale were first a railway-based team, until a name change in 1964 to Raynes Park FC, and eventually merging with Malden Vale in 1995 to form what they are currently known as Raynes Park Vale. The club has struggled recently with finances, relying heavily on income from the gate receipts and from the bar. Getting people through the gate has been a real battle at Raynes Park Vale. They charge £6 entry fee, which you think is a reasonable price, but why would you pay that when you just watch it for free? The average attendance at Raynes Park Vale is about 30 people. If they're each paying £6, that just about covers the costs for the refs and the officials. You can often hear the moans and groans from the away players, but who can blame them? Who would want to be here on a cold Tuesday night in December? The Vale have certainly had their setbacks. Situated in an isolated area, they have been the victim of an arson attack in 2014, and 2013 lead cables were stolen from the floodlights.
Yeah, I think it was a Thursday we came down and we had to turn on the lights, and there was nothing. When we went over, they'd literally stripped the floodlights from top to bottom, so from sort of 6 foot all the way up to the top, 30, 40 foot in the air. Worst thing is, we're not even sure that the cable was worth anything. It was, you know, I think as a cable was pretty worthless, but it took it was quite a couple of £100, maybe a couple of grand to fix, which we don't really have. We also had a fire, not too sure whether it was on purpose or it was just kids messing around, but in the end it sort of, I think they lit a couple of bins and then the whole sort of side of the building caught fire. Luckily that the fire brigade sort of managed to break in and sort of get it out, but it did again cause quite a considerable amount of damage that once again the club doesn't have the funds to always repair these things, so you try patch it up and go again on the hope that someday someone will have the money to fix it up properly. The ground at Raynes Park is usually the butt of the jokes, with the opposition who visit often reminding them.
The opposition have said about the change rooms and the showers that you probably wouldn't even keep a prisoner of war in somewhere like that. Our pitch has come under a lot of criticism over the years, be that mud patches, bobbles, or our very big slope down in the bottom corner.
A couple of seasons ago, when we had the pitch maintained by a groundsman whose payment, let's say, was overdue, he took the lawnmower hostage, which was quite interesting.
There was one particular moment that, you know, it was really when I heard this that it really dawned on me what we were kind of dealing with at this ground. But it's where John, the owner, had informed me of a couple of years ago. We had named the stand after a person, after a fan of the club, after someone who had paid, the small amount of £50 for the stand, and we named it Stand Brian, thinking that it was going to be this blue thing behind me, but in fact it was actually just almost a wooden dugout, the corner of the pitch, which I'm sure everyone's pretty familiar with. That I thought was incredible and kind of typical of how the club really is.
Back in 2017, the notorious groundhopper visited the ground and he branded it the worst ground he's ever visited. As a result, he spoke to our chairman and offered him £50 to have his own stand. And here I am, the CFAX Brian stand.
What the opposition have said about this ground, I suppose probably the story that stands out to me is I've got a friend from university who plays for another team in this league, and his manager, before they play us away every season, always says, right boys, it's the worst pitch in the league, let's just get there, get the job done, get out of there. Funny features about the ground, behind one of the goals there's an abundance of brambles just absolutely everywhere. So when the ball goes in there, it takes you a good 5, 10, 15 minutes to find it. So you don't want to be sub on one of those cold Tuesday nights and see the ball go over there. You know it's your job. You're going to be in there for a good 10 minutes getting that back.
Over this period since COVID-19, the club have reflected on the club's situation and have started to make improvements to the grounds and the club in general.
The lockdown period's been quite an interesting period for the club. It's given us time to reflect about what our real potential is for the club. We've put together a 5-year plan, both from a performance perspective and a financial perspective. Includes some key goals, how much sponsorship we should be raising, what capital expenditure we should be making around the ground, as well as where we should really be performing in the league, considering our really fantastic potential that Raynes Park has as a result of its close proximity to London and also great community that we kind of lie in.
Got some new things on the horizon, which is good fun. Looking to make it a little bit more sustainable. So we've got a fundraiser going. We're trying to raise £5,000 before the start of the 2020-21 season, and we're pretty much there, which is great news. That will help around the ground hugely. And we've also put some things in place. So we've got packs for sponsors, new players, which has already reaped rewards with over 30 people coming to the original trials.
Despite not having the best facilities, you can tell from visiting that the players and the staff are a real family. And this is the reason why people come and they always stay.
The reasons I joined this club are the same now as the reasons I'm still here now. I come here and it is a real community feel, and all the lads just got on. Like we've spoken about, the ground's not the easiest on the eye, but people play football here because they enjoy playing with their mates, and everyone works hard for each other. And that's why I've stayed on from when I stopped playing into the management side of things.
There might be a perception that this is like the worst ground in the league, or but camaraderie between the players and the social aspect is probably as good as there is at this level, and that's the main reason why people stay or come back to Raynes Park.
Even though the pitch is shit, I do think as a whole, standard quality of football is decent, and obviously they've got a good team banter and team morale.
Even though it's not the greatest ground, not the best facilities, I still love playing at Raynes Park because of the people. Everyone's fantastic, digs in and just provides what they can. The players, we're all mates, regardless, on or off the pitch. We all have a laugh and we're with each other right through to the final whistle. Yeah, it's just a brilliant, fun place to be.
It's the hard work of the players, the staff and the community at Raynes Park that keeps the club alive. But despite being the worst ground in the whole of the English pyramids, there's no place I'd rather be on a Saturday.